defined broadly as an intentional act of deception, which involves financial transaction for the purpose of personal gain, meaning one can be deprived of their money in a very deceitful way.
What it is preventing you from falling prey to fraudsters. That's what it is, because we're always looking out for you here on your inspiration station on 99 FM. So in promoting a cooperative environment to drive payment system policy development and self-regulation, and protecting the safety and reliability of the payment system in the country, as well as to ensure that it conforms to international standards and the best practices, we are joined in studio by Esther Pomuti. She is the payment system analyst for regulatory and compliance, as well as Mbapeua Kauuova, I hope I pronounced that right, and he is the acting manager for regulatory and compliance from the Payments Association of Namibia, and they're here just to elaborate their role on how we can avoid falling victim to fraud. Thank you so much for coming.
Morning. Sibo.
Morning. Thanks for having us.
And how's the morning started for you?
Very very well. Because we didn't have to go into the office.
So this was a nice way to give you like a little bit of coffee, a little bit of ease, and a little bit of, helping the Namibian nation. Esther, let me just briefly start with you. Can you explain to us what is fraud and the different types of fraud? Because we're really not sure which one falls where.
Thank you so much. So fraud can be defined broadly as an intentional act of deception, which involves financial transaction for the purpose of personal gain, meaning one can be deprived of their money in a very deceitful way. Fraud affects us subconsciously and unsubconsciously. We have various types of frauds, but I'm going to just dwell into three of them. One being phishing. So phishing is a type of online scam where fraudsters send fraudulent emails, text messages, or make phone calls that appear to be from a trustworthy source, such as a bank or a reputable company or institution. Yes. Mostly the victims are deceived into providing very confidential or sensitive information to the caller, or rather say now the fraudster. Just ways of prevention, or rather to avoid falling victim of phishing. It's very important to be very cautious of suspicious emails or messages, and to never share personal or financial information with unknown sources. So if you have a gut feeling, so please just trust it, or if you feel like this is fishy, just rather not open the email, rather not click on the link or anything like that.
True.
Yes. So number two, we have card not present. This is a type of payment card fraud that occurs when a credit or debit card is used to make a transaction without the physical presence of the card. So this can be one making an online purchase without having the physical card with them. They probably copy down the numbers on mostly the front numbers and the CVV number behind,
at
the back, to make an online purchase without your presence. This can be done. There are certain purchases where it doesn't really require an OTP authorization from the owner, or it can be a case of where a fraudster can call you and then they would probably ask you, have you received an OTP of this sort? Can you give me the number? Really, sometimes you are either absent-minded or just going on about your day, and you would really give this type of information to a fraudster, and they can make a payment, and an amount is debited from your card.
If I can add to that,
yes,
Esther, the thing is that sometimes what they would do is that fraudster will call you first,
yes,
and then immediately 2 minutes later, then a person will call you again, saying they are from the bank, saying that somebody just tried to hack your thing, so please just give us this detail so we can quickly block what, because now you're in a panic.
You're scared. You just easily
start giving the information.
They're becoming so smart, man.
As much as we are at work, they're also at work.
Very true.
Yeah, and they would mostly also start off with a story, where by the end of the conversation we would have given them
shop,
all the
everything.
details of your life. So it can also be a case like that.
And then the third one, because you mentioned there are 3 that you're going to focus on.
The third one then is fake proof of payments or deposit scams.
A friend of mine had that. Just explain to the listeners, please, because we were also very confused.
Okay, so fake proof of payments involve creating false documentations or evidence of a payment transaction to deceive a recipient into believing that the payment has been made when it has not. Now, for the purpose of probably receiving a service or maybe receiving the product. So you'd receive a payment, proof of payment via, say, WhatsApp.
Yes.
Open it up. It looks legit. Everything looks legit. Not all of us really know, but I think it's very important for all of us to really just acquaint or educate ourselves how original proof of payments look like. So this looks legit, and then you probably you're selling a laptop, or you are maybe say doing makeup for somebody and things like that. So then you provide the service of provide the good in return.
No, Esther, we've seen a couple of that a lot, especially now with Facebook market places. People are advertising, whether it's phones, whether it's whatever it is, and then someone is sending me this proof of payment. How can I safeguard myself? Do I call their bank? Do I call my bank? Because sometimes there is that lapse in between, because from one bank to another, because I'm an FNB, for example, in your Standard Bank and so forth. So how do I safeguard myself and know that no, this proof of payment is not legitimate?
Okay, for one, before you provide the service or provide the product, whatever is supposed to be in return, I think the best way to go about it is call your bank or call that specific bank of the proof of payment that you've been provided with, and just maybe send it to them via email, or rather go into the bank physically and just try to confirm with the relevant authority if this is legit or not, and things like that. And also another thing is, I think it's safer to wait and see if the money reflects into your account first before
you do anything.
Yes.
Yeah, because some people will try to rush you into, no, I've already sent it, I want my stuff, or I want the service now, and so forth. But Mbapeua, let me come to you in terms of what the role of the Payment Association of Namibia is actually doing in raising awareness in terms of fraud.
Okay, first let me just give a quick introduction in terms of what PAN is. So PAN is a self-regulatory body, and we usually try to manage payments, the national payment system, and one of our roles and mandate is to safeguard the national payment system, as well as give out awareness to the public in terms of fraud. So we really try hard, like the campaign that we're on with now in partnership with 99 FM, and we also usually have podcasts and like the Clubhouse, where we just get the industry leaders and thought leaders and the technical guys just to sit around, talk about fraud. This is how we're talking about it here, but just a bit more in a deeper level. And also, our work is just not limited to giving the awareness to the public, also within industry itself. So we have a FIFFC forum, which is the fraud forum, where we have now all the fraud forensic experts from each bank, where we sit and then we discuss the different types of fraud and just come up with measures in terms of how to prevent them, and also just sensitize people. So this is one of the activities from that forum for us to also go out there in the public and give them information.
That's nice. Esther, I know we touched a little bit on fraud prevention, but is there other things that we have lacked on?
Maybe let me just touch on a few tricks, or we should rather call them fraudulent strategies.
Yes, please.
Of scammers, just to watch out, and also for one to just remain proactive throughout. So scammers often use like a guise of a well-known organization, as I mentioned before, or an individual that appears to be legitimate. I think about a few months ago there was a case in the media of a very prominent individual as well that was scammed. So that's just an example. Particularly using banks as a cover, because I mean we trust our banks
very much.
They have our money. We
have
that sort of relationship with them. So they would mostly use that as well. They manipulate technology to change the caller's ID number and pressure you into believing that the issue is urgent, as I think yourself that you mentioned, or Mbapeua mentioned earlier. The faults, problems, or prices presented by scammers can range from owing money to the government, to winning a prize that requires a fee. Obviously, we are all trying to make a living. We are all trying to make extra cash. So let's just be very careful as much as we can. Yes, as much as we can, definitely. So scammers use pressure tactics to make you act quickly, such as threatening legal consequences and computer corruption. Payment methods are specific and may involve sending money via a transfer company or a gift card, or depositing a fake check, or just sending money to that specific individual or fraudster. As we mentioned, as much as let's remain proactive, but there are times really where, you're having an off day, you're absent-minded. Yeah, that's definitely correct.
Yeah.
And just to add on as well, what you can do to prevent or to avoid a scam, rather, protect yourself from unwanted calls and text messages by blocking them and filtering out spam messages.
Yes.
Just to stay proactive. Remember not to give out your personal and financial information to anyone that contacts you unexpectedly. As I mentioned, these scammers will try as much as possible to make you feel comfortable, trust them, and lure you into giving that type of information. Because we should know that legitimate organization will never ask for this information via
over the phone,
emails or text messages. So I think we should be very vigilant. And if you receive a message or a call from a company that you do business with, don't click the link immediately. Instead, use a website that you know is trustworthy, or look up the company's phone number independently, and rather try to call them and just confirm this information to assure yourself that you're safe. And lastly, just be wary of anyone who pressures you to act immediately or give them money or personal information. Just in our daily or day-to-day interactions, let's just remain proactive.
Yeah.
So,
now, Mbapeua, I know. Thank you, Esther. We're running a little bit out of time, but just before you get to your final remarks, because you did speak about the forensic department that you have, what have you seen is the most prevalent fraud that is happening in Namibia?
Currently now, it would be e-money fraud.
Really?
So that's where the phishing comes in. Where you're called and then you're asked to either give your card information, and that person is trying now to link their phone to your account to be able to process certain transactions.
I see.
So it's e-money. So it's merely more, because really there are a lot of the banks have really strived to protect the members of the public out there in terms of fraud. But when it comes to phishing, is that it's now up to you yourself
to protect
yourself, because now information is being asked from you,
and it's gone. Once it's gone, it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
Any final remarks, Mbapeua?
No, I would just say that awareness starts with yourself, and it's up to us to also educate each other, especially the older community, because those are the ones targeted. There's a certain person early last year who lost close to 400,000 just in phishing. Yeah. So, and that was his retirement money. So us as young people, I think it's up to us to also try and educate our parents and always try and assist them. When they want to do a payment, just say no. Mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, auntie, when you want to do a certain payment or something, let me assist you, or let me be close to you, or when there's something you want to buy that you saw on the internet. And one thing is that since technology has evolved so much, is that now the older people, they have access now to this buy and sell groups on WhatsApp and and that is where they're scammed. And you find people selling or scamming from prison.
Imagine.
So you will have a cell phone there,
very true.
then you scam you from prison. Yeah.
It's very true.
So,
no, they're like you said, you're working, they're working, everybody's working too.
So let's just remain vigilant, please, and also let's just please share the information.
True.
So I know not every person in the country is listening to our segment today, but whoever is listening, please just spread the word and advise each other.
Indeed. Esther?
I think Mbapeua said it all. But all in all, let's just try to remain proactive at all times. trust our guts, as I mentioned earlier, and let's educate each other. And please, let's not scam each other.
Oh no, that's the number one. Let's start there. That was the number.
From the ones that are working hard, please let's not scam each other. So,
give us rest. Thank you so much for coming. That was Esther Pomuti, Payment System Analyst for Regulatory and Compliance, as well as Mbapeua Kauuova, Acting Manager for Regulatory and Compliance. They're coming from the Payments Association of Namibia, and they were really teaching us on how to be wary and not fall victim to fraud. If you have any questions, please do look them up. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to assist you.